There are only a couple of events each year in the off-campus student housing industry that bring all of the industry leaders together. The annual Interface Student Housing Conference is the largest event for the industry. 2024 marks the 16th year for this conference and is being held April 24th through the 27th at the JW Marriott in Austin, Texas. This is the premier event for student housing professionals, bringing together leaders from all facets of the sector, including owners, operators, investors, lenders, and university partners. The conference features the industry's best and brightest minds all under one roof, delivering the knowledge, tools, programs, and connections necessary for leaders to shape their future success and the future of the student housing industry. So who are some of the folks attending this year's conference? Let's meet one of them right now. So, Eddie Moreno, I hear that you're going to Austin.
Yeah, glad to be going back. I took a year off in 2023 and am excited to see a lot of familiar faces and catch up with folks in the industry in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and you lived in Austin for a while too, right?
I did. I went to UT and lived in Austin for about 12 years before moving up to Denver in 2013.
Well, I'm sure you've got a lot of good places you can recommend. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But hey, for folks that may not know about the Turnco or the Turn Company,
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about what's happening. Get us kind of caught up. It was this time last year we were talking about yourself and Matt Windsor buying the property from the Cardinal Group, and want to talk a little bit about what's happened in that time and what's led to that. And then we've got a great little video that you guys have put together that I want to show to everybody that kind of really explains in a quick 90 seconds, what it is that you guys do. So yeah, catch us up. What's happened through 2023 and how did things come to become the Turn Company that it is today?
Sure. Well, first off, thank you for your support. Right when we launched, we had a big announcement that you posted on LinkedIn and had a lot of activity. And this entire year, quite honestly, we've had just a ton of support from friends and colleagues in the industry. In 2023, Matt and I acquired the Turn Company from Cardinal Group Companies and relaunched it as a standalone operating business. We closed at the end of April, so we were admittedly, and we the circumstance dictated that we were relaunching the business at the beginning of May, which is really at the end of the turn sales cycle, right?
Right.
Most communities have their bids in, if not, obviously their contracts signed, and but we knew that there was probably a need out there, and there was some clientele that we were fortunate enough to have sign us up for their turn services.
The one thing about summer turn is there is always a need.
There's always a need, exactly. So no, we had a great group of turns. We did 26 turns last summer, providing varying services at each of the communities. And really that allowed us the runway to really exercise our vision for the business long-term. This fall, in the last couple of quarters, we've spent a lot of time diversifying our service offerings, building up our platform and kind of the way that we do business, and really seeing where the industry is evolving and where we can provide services, not just only in multifamily, but also in hospitality. And then also, historically, we've worked with owners and operators, but we're also working with manufacturers and suppliers doing installations and ESG projects. So it's been an awesome 12 months, and the gun went off and we went to a dead sprint immediately. And quite honestly, that personally, that's something that I love doing. Building a team, defining a vision, setting some big, hairy, audacious goals, and taking some swings to try to achieve those things. So it's been a fun year with Matt and our team, and we're really proud of what we've accomplished in the last 12 months.
Well, great. Well, with that being said, let's show this quick video. I think it has been put together in a really fantastic way, and I think gives a really quick summary about what you guys do and how you guys can help our audience. So let's go to that really quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to thank all of our 2023 clients. Your trust and support is what helped us relaunch the new Turn Company. We're excited to tell you about our expanded service offerings and the value that the Turn Company can bring to a changing marketplace.
Our industry is rapidly evolving. We're seeing companies make major investments in new operating support models and the adoption of artificial intelligence at a rate that we've never seen. These innovations are amazing, and they're changing the way that we operate and maintain our communities from this point forward. For the Turn Company, that means that there's a new value proposition, a new definition for what it means to be a valued and trusted vendor partner. For us, we're not only focused on the quantitative things, can we be price competitive and do we have those basic capabilities, but we're also focused on the qualitative part of our business, how we do business, how we leverage technology, how we align values to make sure that we truly are a force multiplier for your teams.
Student Housing Turn will continue to be a core part of our business, but we're excited to expand our year-round service offerings. We offer project management for capital improvements. We're working with furniture manufacturers on their installations. We're teaming up with providers of smart and green tech for ESG projects, and we're expanding our facility services to support backlogged work orders, preventative and deferred maintenance.
We happen to love the process of iteration. We're going to continue to refine our service offerings to meet the needs of a changing marketplace and the needs of our clients. We look forward to collaborating with you guys and hope to see you guys out in the market.
I really love that video. I think you guys have got it on your website.
We do. And we'll share. Oh, good.
Yeah, we'll definitely put a link. I think that QR code goes to your website as well. But no, that's a perfect highlight of what you guys do and kind of how things have evolved. I just got finished with putting out a podcast actually with your business partner, Matt Windsor, where he helped co-host for me. And it was in that discussion, it was really unique thinking about, how things have changed. I'm going into my 27th, maybe 28th year in this industry, and thinking about how rapidly things have evolved over the past, 5 years specifically. And it's great having, a company like yours that is able to kind of help clients out in a situation where maybe it's their first time or they're understaffed or they just want to get really efficient with things. And you guys are kind of perfect for doing that.
One of the things that we were most excited about in launching the business as a standalone company is our ability to focus on key geographies and key clientele. There's kind of 5 main geographies or regions that we're focused on. We're expanding our clientele in those particular markets, but it allows us to operate and really perform and execute where we've got deep resources, where we've got deep experience. And right now, owners and management companies are looking to reduce risk at the end of the day. And Turn is a very precarious exercise, right? It could go very well or it could go poorly. And partnering with a company who has extensive operating experience, who thinks like operators, and knows your needs, helps defray some of that risk at the end of the day. And that's something that we're hoping to bring to our clientele, as we continue to expand our book of business.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to talk a little bit about the conference. This is obviously not your, this may be your first time back in a year, but this is definitely not your first conference. For those in the audience, this may be their first time as an owner, an operator, an equity group, or, someone that's just, servicing the industry and kind of, this is their first entree into, seeing everybody at an event like this. What kind of suggestions would you have for them? What would you tell them to, kind of expect?
Outside of restaurants and coffee shops in the local vicinity, which I may have a couple recommendations there, but I think that this is one of the best conferences, if not the best conference every single year in the student housing industry. You have some of the biggest players in the industry, from investments, development, management, and operations, and then all of the suppliers and vendors who support those groups coming together and really, collaborating and doing a lot of business together. I think for us at this time of year, it's very timely because you have management companies who are making decisions on their turn, which happens in 4 months now. And for us, it's really important to get in front of our clientele. Although we're working with communities down, at the community level, it's really important for us to understand what are the needs, the concerns, the desires of the management company and some of the personnel that are running those businesses, and how can we work with them to meet their needs across a broader portfolio. So I think that having all of the nationals there, all
Yeah.
of the power players in the industry is just a really great opportunity to reach your hand out and introduce yourself to people you don't know, and see where the conversation takes you.
Yeah, that's a fantastic suggestion, and even if it's it'd be great to show up and invite Bill Bayless to dinner, and and talk
Yeah.
about all the things he's learned and everything. That's not going to happen. I'm just going.
No.
He's probably got plans, even being retired now, but it is one of those things where you can meet those folks for the first time, and have a brief conversation, and make plans to follow up. And
Yeah.
there's been so many relationships like that for myself that have come out of just quick 2.5 minute conversation in the lobby, and exchange a business card, and those relationships have worked out to be really productive for both sides. um, so you got to live in Austin for quite a while. You went to
Yeah.
UT, and so I'm interested in knowing what are some of the spots that you're willing to share. There's probably some you don't want to share because you want to keep them secret. But yeah, what are some things that maybe it's restaurants, maybe it's concert venue or something like that. What is it that you would suggest to folks? Hey, before you leave Austin, make sure you do this.
Oh, sure. Well, one year I had the good fortune of showing up a day early and going to see a show at Moody Theater, which was Citizen Cope, which is kind of across the street,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
down a couple blocks. But quite honestly, this time of year, Austin isn't too humid. The temperature's pretty moderate. So things like walking out on the South Congress Bridge, walking a couple blocks, you will run into 3 or 4 coffee shops. If you head down towards Rainy Street, my favorite hotel in Austin, the Hotel Van Zant, is there. They've got an awesome restaurant. There's usually music. There's just a lot to do. I think Austin's done an amazing job of curating the outdoor experience for not only the people who live there, but also the tourist population, or in this case, the conference population. One of the things that I've always liked to do is when you are having those 10 or 15-minute conversations with somebody, instead of sitting in the lobby where it's really loud, go walk around the block. Go take a 15-minute walk around, and maybe you'll find yourself sitting on a bench and under a tree and having a good conversation, but you're getting some fresh air. I think changing up the scenery is, important, and Austin's got a lot to offer, quite honestly, especially in that 2 or 3 block radius of the hotel.
No, I completely agree. Well, hey, really quick, anything for this conference that you guys are going to be announcing or kind of highlighting?
We anticipate meeting with several of those folks that we're doing work with right now. One of the things that is probably a little bit novel, and we're seeing it more and more as we get into the individual markets, is back in the day, turn services were painting, cleaning, and carpet cleaning, and that was kind of tried and true. A fourth service that we started offering is something that we had great traction on last summer, but we're seeing a bigger and bigger need this sales cycle and this upcoming summer, which is turn and punch or make ready services. We
Yeah.
offer like a 15 item, and it's somewhat customizable by the community, but a 15 item punch or make ready service that handles a lot of the things that your maintenance teams used to do, or in some cases still do, with high turnover and open seats in a lot of cases on the facility side, or teams trying to limit turnover by not burning out their teams during turn, or finding ways to supplement some of the work. This service has allowed us to actually fit that need quite nicely.
Yeah.
We'll go in and do the blinds and the AC filters and the fire alarm batteries, and then the maintenance team is going in and doing the keys and doing a final inspection to make sure everything's ready. But they're not working until 2 in the morning to do all of the other things that we were able to do in a few
Yeah.
days. So that's a new service. A lot of communities will end up signing up for that service in May or June, maybe even later, depending on what their needs are.
Yeah.
But we're offering that, and whenever we're sending proposals and pricing to our clients, we're evangelizing that service because quite honestly,
Yeah.
there's a big need out there for it.
It's a big need because, mentioning May and June, I mean, that gets to be about the time that, maintenance staff are trying to figure out, okay, do I really want to go through this tourniquet? And you may have some that, they start taking lunches, extra long, and you find out, oh, they're actually interviewing at a non-student property. And so there's that happens, but also just this move to centralization.
Yep.
It's getting to a point where, especially with smaller properties, you're able to pull back on maybe not having to hire that extra part-timer or whatever throughout the year. But then you get to turn and it's like, oh wow, we really don't have, a team together for punch. The money that you save throughout the year on payroll, you've got to put some of that towards, hiring a contractor like yourselves to come in and help with that. So I think that's going to be something that's going to continue to grow for you guys for sure. Well, Eddie, again, thanks, so much for coming on and kind of explaining to everybody what it is that you guys do. For folks that are going to be at Interface and want to schedule some time for you, I know that you've got a calendar link that we're going to post in the show notes, that they can schedule time directly with you at the conference. But if they want to get a hold of you in advance, what's a good way for them to get in touch with you?
Our website is theturncompany.com. My personal email is eddie.moreno, Moreno, at theturncompany.com. Matt and I look forward to seeing you guys out there. And Wes, always appreciate the megaphone that is Student Housing Insight.
Well, I appreciate it. And let's make sure we grab a drink in the lobby before Friday.
For sure. I almost said Student Housing Interface, but that would be blending the two. No, I look forward to seeing you out there, Wes.
Well, and yeah, big thanks to the guys at Interface for, obviously putting this together. I think this is their 16th year, and, it's just fantastic to see what this has turned into. We're sitting here the first week of April, and I checked the attendee list yesterday, and there's, already over 1,100 people that are registered. So this is probably going to be the biggest that they've ever had. So looking forward to it.
Same here.
All right. Take care.